Bakaba, and then we hear it on record. New Year, Upa so Majagoma play Apato Foster, Badanya. Foya, Wizon.
Yo, Foya Patrick. Ozak Bendina on tour, Lowonya Salaukata.
Okay. Right, so we are live on Facebook, Sun City Radio 88.9. You can send your comments there. So we have a very limited time to talk. But then, Nuki Jimmy Papa versus Salakwaji.
Yo, Akpe Foya Patrick. Miape Nyakata Enyabe Ministry of Health. Na miape former principal, Miss Rejoice Aheto. Letter. Be waide. Be wayi ahojujo. I think that should be on June 28th. But it appears as though Principal Mejibeya comply with that directive from the ministries. We want the school to continue to maintain its status as the best nursing and midwifery training college in the country. We want things to move smoothly. She should just give the space for us to be able to continue the good works we have been doing.
Okay. La Banaja Makoba Metoshina Chiomadaro, but Yenya Yopo Fudanamu. One, bad leadership. Kefiamba, she's showing bad leadership, and you in your in a non-Uponfia, you refer to her as your former principal. Is there a new principal?
By virtue of the letter assigned to her by the ministries, she ceases to be the principal of the school because the principal has given her the ministry has.
But she's still at post.
Yes, she's still. That is the struggle as at now. You see, because you have been given a letter by your employers that you are on your compulsory retirement.
Okay.
So what is the basis for holding yourself up as though you are still the principal? What is the basis? If she has, she should let us have it so that we stop making noise.
Right, so bad leadership. Nuko.
Thank you very much. Patrick, man block be. And so you know, Madam Ahetote, a staffer, a jidodo, ya kumiko no ete, a staff. Be America, America Messemia Panko. Madam Heto. War strategy Ozana is divide and rule. Emma mia dome, master for dome. With victimization, intimidation, favoritism, and nepotism. We are not able to have
Sun City Radio,
sound mind
88.9
because of these things, to be able to teach our students. And in fact, it's beginning to reflect in the performance of our students. Hitherto, as you know, we have consistently been placed best 5 consecutive years in the nation.
While she was still principal.
Yes.
Okay.
But you see, there is this analysis that we need to do very carefully. We would have to look at the people who are judged the best students and see when were they admitted to the school, when did they go through the process of education, and when did they exit. She only took the glory. In fact, she only came to meet the glory, but the work was done by someone else. Tamaiji, be mama yo demia me kafra na bele me divide and rule. Ne obronya ne me support you la efia be melegi o ejbe the other side. She has to put you aside, including management members. You go for management meeting, she says something you are not in support of, quickly you have to start line. Creating parallel management. I mean, those who are even not management members, she has them as management team somewhere. So there is an official management team, let's side. She has her own management team.
You can prove that?
I tell you.
Okay.
She has her own management team that she deals with.
And their decisions bind on the school, the unofficial management team?
My brother, their decisions are always binding. Once it's in the favor of Madam Rejoice Aito. You see? Yeah.
Sun City Radio.
Anyway, so that's the bad leadership and demotivation and demoralization of teaching and non-teaching staff that you're talking about. What about the unattractive leadership style? Is it also same as you just explained? The unattractive leadership style?
Yes. You see, the school, with a student population of over 720, currently, we have about less than 20 staff, less than 20 teaching staff, teachers, tutors who teach the student.
What was the number hitherto?
We've been managing with this few number for some time.
Okay.
Yes. When the school was a single campus.
Okay.
And we're running I think we're running 2 programs at a time. Now we are running about 3 programs. We've had some staff coming in. We've had a lot of staff coming in. I can tell you for sure that on top of my head, I can count about 13 staff that we have lost to attrition. Because just during the period of 4 years when Madam Aito became the principal, I can count on top of my head 13 to 14 staff who have left the school during the period of Madam Rejoice Aito. A case in point.
So they left the school on their own volition, they got transferred by the ministry, or the madam called for their transfer, or what? If they are transferred?
Some of them left because they were not too comfortable with the institution. Some of them were transferred. For instance, from, let me say, about 10 years of existence of the school, we had only 2 accountants. In fact, one actually passed away, and we had a second one. Within within 4 years of the existence of Madam Rejoice Aito or her leadership, we've had we have 2 accountants who have left, about 3 account staff, no, 2 other account staff who have also exited within a matter of 4 years. Teachers have left. We don't have midwives. A lot of midwives teaching. Midwives come in, they leave.
Right. Just because somebody leaving the school because he's not comfortable. How is that related to Mr. Hato's leadership style? How does that emanate from her? Because you can be working somewhere, and Mr. Hato is not the employer of the people who left the school. They requested for transfer themselves, and their employer decided to transfer them. Unless there is a letter proving, but the mistress requested for the transfer of these teachers or account staffs.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. You see, you get to campus, you're employed newly, and your boss tells you, in this school, there are divisions. You are either for me or you are for them.
I think she tells you that?
Yes. Okay. She tells you that you are either for me or you are for them. If you are with me, you will enjoy. If you like, go and be with them. Someone tells you this at your entry. I don't know. And sincerely to her words, if you join her so-called other group, you are in trouble. If you join her so-called other group, you are in trouble. In fact, you see, because of I am a testimony to this victimization and intimidation. And if not for my personal resilience, I would have equally opted that I should be transferred from the school. Allowances that are legally due teachers, you apply for, and then you are asked, you are hauled before an advisory board and asked, why should you ask for a money that is due you? Something I have worked for. I ask you, when am I taking my money And you say you don't understand why I asked that question, and therefore you hold me before an advisory board. If this is not intimidation, I don't know what is the definition of intimidation. You see, so you do this to people and you expect them to stay. You expect them to stay. They are just moving to go and get a comfortable place where they have peace of mind to work. And I'm telling you that I can give you the names of those who have left. Cross-check from them. Whether on their own volition, if you had left them with good motivation, they would love to leave the school. You can find out from them. Almost 14 people within a matter of 4 years. The school has existed for more than 10 years. We didn't have that level of attrition, staff attrition. Why within a matter of 4 years? Why? We have been very quiet because we are very cooperative. We have cooperated with you enough. We are not sacking you from your legal position. You have retired. We said you have served Ghana well. It's okay. Give space. Let someone else come and continue the management. Let us continue to have this glory. The best school in Ghana. We want to maintain this glory. But with this kind of attitude, we are demotivated. We are demotivated. We cannot continue. We will not be able to achieve those goals again. Please.
Just a quick one on her retiring issue. We spoke with her, and Agbablamba, she's waiting for her employer to send a replacement for her to hand over to before she goes.
I don't know whether there is a new definition of retirement, that when you are given a letter that you're on retirement, it means that wait until your employer tells you who to hand over to. In any case, the ministry has a system that in the absence of the principal, the vice principal shall act. In this case, by virtue of her retirement, she's absent. By virtue of her retirement, she's absent. And we expect that she properly hands over. If she feels she's not comfortable with the vice principal, there is a municipal director of health. There is the whole chief executive of Keta municipality.
I think what I know is she can hand over to the municipal health director or her vice or the administrator of the school.
Thank you very much. So if she feels she's not too comfortable with an individual, hand over to whoever you feel you are comfortable with and give us the space to function. See, students are stressed up. Teachers are stressed up.
Is that what the students told you?
We are. I am a teacher.
How do you know they are stressed?
I am a teacher. I'm in the classroom with my students. One of my responsibilities is to be able to gauge the mood of my students when I'm teaching. And I'm a psychiatric nurse.
Okay.
To put on record. I know when somebody is stressed up. I know. And students talk to us a lot. And I'm the patron to the XRC as well.
Okay. Thank you. Right. But then, with regards to the retiring issue, her giving space, we were in her office when we questioned her on this. She explained, like I said, but ye more employer replacement. But then, but somebody is pushing you to do what you are doing now. Do you have an interest, should I say interest, do you have any other interest apart from what you rightly said, that you want to restore the school's good performance? Do you have any other interest? Is there anybody behind you pushing you to do this?
Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick, for this question. You see, when people want to run away from issues, these are the strategies they use. We have presented issues in our press conference. Is she telling us that these issues do not exist? Is that what she's telling us? That at my age, with my level of education, I don't have clarity of mind to know that I am hungry until someone tells me I am hungry. At this age, unless someone tells me that you are not being treated well, I do not know that I'm not being treated well. The students in the school, at their age, some of them are parents, you must know. Until someone tells them they are not treated well, they do not know. When they have bills that are more than what they are required to pay, they do not know, they don't see. When they have the Ministry of Health approved bill, and they compare it to what they are paying in the school, and there's discrepancies, must someone tell them that there are discrepancies on the bill? You see, it's a very, I don't want to say a lazy man approach of dealing with issues. We have presented issues before you. The question is, do these issues exist or not? If they do not exist, she knows what to do. If these issues are not true, she knows what to do.
Right. Apart from the approved bills from the Ministry of Health, maybe a Doro Jabo Yijia, Sukwana Acho Gaviara Pi, but Sukuviona Hefamano Chongogwe Domawe. Doesn't the school, maybe the board or the management, I stand to be corrected? That's what I'm asking. You are in the school. Do the school reserve that right to do something like that?
Mr. Patrick, per our system, whatever bill, extra bill you want to put on a student's bill sheet, you must get approval from the ministry. Whatever bill, even 1 cedi. If you need 1 cedi extra, you must write to the ministry and seek approval and justify. Until that is done, any other thing may amount to extortion.
So, in essence, you are saying any excess that was added did not receive the consent or approval from the Ministry of Health, and so it amounts to extortion?
To the best of my knowledge, and this particular issue is what the students brought forward. Okay. But to the best of my knowledge, as much as I know now, there is only one single Ministry of Health approved fee. And there is no evidence, to the best of my knowledge, that ministry has approved for Keta Nursing and Midwifery Training College an extra fee to be charged on the students.
Zero infrastructure development.
Yes.
There are some other colleagues too in the house. Zero infrastructure development. I think ma atrodo hono mia asa ho papajipo Mr. Sechi Apreko, you are the convener away Akbanya Jujodolo at the Normano. So as part of your press conference, the number 4 you stated was zero infrastructure development in the college. How do you explain this to us? Is the school supposed to champion infrastructure development, or the ministry is supposed to, or there were some funds that were supposed to do that work and they've been misappropriated? I want to understand the meaning of zero infrastructure development. Zero, as in nothing happened at all.
Thank you very much. My name is Mr. Sechi Apreku, the convener of the press conference. The truth of the matter is that particular point is very important to us. Like my other colleague, speaker rightly said, the school was one. We have old site and new site. But the old site was there. The one who championed the building of the new site is Madam Keta. He's retired. He's the one she took over from. Before she took over, she has given the new site to Keta. They built the school. As soon as they finished building the school, he left office without even sitting in that new school. So 2 schools were handed over to Mrs. Rejoice Ahito, the former principal, the old school and the new school. And if you look at the structure of the new school, so nice, so magnificent, you will love it. The other day when I was speaking during the press conference, I asked the media to ask her the type of infrastructure he has added apart from what Keta built. The answer is very sorry. The response, I think in one of your sister stations was Jubilee. He said that he put up a comment.
88.9, Keta.
And then he also built a computer lab.
And these are infrastructures?
Certainly, comparatively negligible. It's even false because somebody who is not from Keta, the former principal was from who also, championed the building of such magnificent, and you claim to be from Keta, and all you could build is a corn mill for 4 years? Ridiculous. Very ridiculous. And you claim that we are not from here. You mentioned my name at Jubilee, that I'm not from here, so I can't talk to issues. Equally, somebody not from here has built a school for Keta people. You came and you were only able to do a computer lab. He collapsed the computer lab, not built. There were 2 computer labs, one at the old site, one at the new site. As I speak now, there is only one computer lab in the new site. That one, most of the computers are not functioning. These are the ICT people. This chief was the one man in the old site and this new site. Ask him if he went there and then took all the cables. Personally, dismantled everything. Brought the computers here. We don't know what he even did to them. Over 700 and over students. Go and look at the computers there. So how can this be an achievement in the first place? How can this be an achievement? So if we talk of infrastructure deficit, secondly, if you look at the building, the new one, which was put up, there were other things to be added. So from where the old principal left it, my good friend will speak to the way the structure should have gone. When he took over, there was to be teachers' bungalow to be added. That was being built by the stakeholders. He made sure that teachers' bungalow was halted up to this time. Apart from what he met, he has not been able to do anything. And then he also asked a question.
How do you know she halted the building of the project in the school? How do you know that? How can you confirm that?
If during your time something is done, it's to your credit, right?
Okay.
During your regime, if you don't supervise something and it's taught, it's your responsibility. We hold you accountable. If he thinks about the teachers and that he wants teachers to stay, he will push for it. He didn't do. Meaning he doesn't need teachers. He only believes in part-time teachers so that he alone can be there and be running the school as private school. Truly speaking, infrastructure, if he says he has done anything, when I heard that day, I was laughing.
But she's not supposed to build these things from her pockets. These are government structures.
Every school has internally generated fund called IGF.
Okay.
From the IGF, these infrastructures can be done. You go to Pantine, the IGF, the building they are put up there. You go to Goso, 2-story building.
Mr. Patrick, you see, the building we are having now, just opposite Sun City.
The hostel?
The school with the hostel.
Okay.
No, the hostel actually was built by government of Ghana.
Government, yeah.
The school, the new school. The former principal, together with some stakeholders, lobbied Koika to build that infrastructure. She actually lobbied. And if I tell you what she went through to get that structure there, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke.
All right. So, in essence, you are saying you are questioning her lobbying power to bring more infrastructure to the school. Is that it?
Exactly. And unfortunately, you see, it's not just about saying I've bought. I bought. You know, I'll show you. When you get to the gate, the school's gate, there is an automatic disinfectant machine,
sure,
which we bought during the COVID era. She prides herself with one of those as the achievements, the developmental things she has done. We don't know we are asking, the cost of that thing there, how much did she buy it? How much did she buy it? What is the cost in the market?
Is she the one who bought it or management bought it?
Whatever the issue, she's the final authority. You see, when the glory comes, she was here to tell you that she managed the school and the school got consecutively 5 years best school in Ghana. Now the liabilities that come must equally follow go to her. She's the final authority in the school. She knows about it. She knows about it. She can make an input.
Anyway, time is fast running. You also alleged mismanagement and misappropriation of financial resources of the college. What is the misappropriation? What was misappropriated?
The whole thing that brought about the fact that we are confronting her that enough is enough is payment of tutors' allowance. And we realized that there was no fund to pay for tutors' allowance. We asked her. And the final thing that came from the school's accountant, there's no money to pay. But that particular allowance is paid from what we call trust fund. Money in that trust fund is not supposed to be used. It's meant for specific things. They can expend every money, even those monies that are not supposed to be used. So he could not pay for our allowance. For 2 terms, he keep telling stories. When that was the very time.
If you say 2 terms, it means 2 semesters.
2 semesters, good.
Right.
This term will come, he can't pay, he postponed to another term. So he decided that he will give it to us, confirm it to us. When it was time, he said no money. He said no, agree. Because that was it coincided with the award UCC KNUST gave us. So as a good principal, your tutors have taught. They have brought this glory. You give them their due, and then you top up. What we are due, you decide not to deceive us, let alone motivating us. Then we said, no, we won't agree. So it came up that the amount allocated for the payment has been misappropriated.
As if the money was used for something else?
Different thing.
So what was the money used for?
That one is up to her, since he could not give us our money.
If you are alleging misappropriation, right, you should know what the money was used for. You can say mismanagement or you are denied what was due you. But if you say misappropriation...
Example is what he gave.
Okay.
Students live everywhere in Keta. You ask a question, if that thing bought there was from management, no. You can bring the management members here. He did it authoritatively without anybody being concerned.
You are sounding conclusive on that.
I'm very conclusive. Management members are there. They can
Purchase
respond
of
to
the
this.
machine is unknown to management members?
Ask them. They only saw it there. He convened a meeting and just autocrat came. The machine has come. We didn't even know which machine. Me, I didn't know the purpose. Management members, what is this? So he just used money the way he wants. That money for that automatic machine should have been used to even build hostel. That thing was used for only one month. And that's the end. And I can bet you that thing will cost millions of cedis.
Is she the sole signatory to the school's account?
He does it with the accountant. And in these matters, like, he's autocratic. I don't know.
I'm asking because you said she single-handedly took money to purchase the machine. So if she's not the only signatory to the account, then there's no way she could have single-handedly. Maybe if someone else signed the check, then it's not just her.
Mr. Patrick, you see, I told you earlier that upon the assumption of office, we have lost two, not lost, like we have made 2 accountants have left on transfer. And you see, accountants don't talk plenty. If they'll tell you what sent them away, you marvel. People cannot talk. People cannot talk. If you have to agree. You would have to agree. Otherwise, your faith may be a sorry one, may not be a sweet one. In fact, you may not end well. you'll be transferred somewhere. We know how these things happen. So she may not be the sole signatory to the school's account, but trust me, things can happen, and things do happen.
I heard through the Vineyard communication, but at the Sado, La Sukua, lecturers are not supposed to do this. They are not supposed to be seen on campus with alcohol. They are not supposed to be seen with this and that. And that's how come you develop this kind of hatred for her, and that's why you are doing this.
Oh, this should be laughable. This should be very, very laughable. Because which teacher brings alcohol to school? Who does that? And even if you do that, it's against the law. And she is supposed to reprimand that person.
I'm not saying she said that. That's why I said through the Vineyard.
I believe those people are either being mischievous or they are talking from an uninformed position. That's what I think. Because such things do not happen on a campus. If they have been, they can prove it.
Master Haba, you want the vice principal to take over from her when she goes. And there are suspicions that maybe she may be behind the convening of this press conference.
Mr. Patrick,
is that true?
You see, that's exactly what I was saying, that people are misrepresenting the issues.
Okay.
What we are seeking to say is that the Ministry of Health has a structure. In the absence of the principal, automatically the acting role falls on the vice principal unless such time or until such time ministry gives a new appointment. You understand? Ministry does this so that there will not be vacuum. For instance, when Miss Rejoice Haito was the vice principal, the former principal, Madam Charity Kate, I think she traveled to China, Israel on a few occasions. She handed over to her, Miss Rejoice Haito, and she acted until such time when the Madam Kate returned. Indeed, when Miss Rejoice Haito herself traveled out of Ghana for some few days, I think a week or two or so, we want to know whether she handed over to someone or she took everything and left with it.
Okay.
Indeed, she did hand it over. She handed over to someone
before she traveled.
Yes.
So now that she's on retirement, she can. You believe she can still hand over to someone and
what
retire?
is her difficulty now? If then she was able to hand over, even when she still has the power to maintain the principalship, she still handed over because she was not within the jurisdiction. Now that officially you are supposed to be on retirement, on what basis is she staying there? No, you see, there are a lot of issues we are not looking at.
Okay.
You are giving instructions. I don't know whether she's making payments. I don't know what the legal people will say, whether these will not have any legal implications.
If you are able to substantiate and establish a prima facie evidence that something was misappropriated, something was not right, I think there are laws in this country.
My question is even, upon what authority are you holding yourself up as though you are still the principal? Show us the authority. Show us the authority.
Okay.
We will be quiet.
Right, so I think time is fast spent, but you mentioned in your presentation that one of the accountants was transferred plus some other teachers.
2 accountants have left.
There were 2, and 2 have left. Oh, I want to get that right.
You see, within a matter of 4 years, we've had 2 replacements. We had 2 replacements in terms of accountants.
The ones who left opted to be transferred on their own volition.
They were all transferred. They were all transferred under bizarre circumstances.
Okay, so you don't understand why they were transferred.
Transferred under bizarre circumstances.
So who is the accountant now?
What's the name? I think Mr. Bismarck and Kuma also. I think
he's the head of finance.
Yes, I think he's the head of finance.
And the deputy.
You see, we have an accountant, a head of finance, and we have other accounts officers. I think as now we have about two permanent ones and a few national service personnel. Yeah, It's good you even brought this one.
And we hear you also against a biological daughter being at the accounts office. Why? Did she employ her daughter? Yeah, she didn't employ her daughter.
We are not saying we are against her. We are just asking questions. Somebody should give us answers.
And those questions are?
One, under what circumstance did her daughter get to the school? We are being told that there were Ministry of Health gave clearance for permanent staff, for staff who were on part-time staff staffers at the time, and Ministry of Health gave clearance that some of them should be enrolled onto the
mainstream.
Yes, the payroll. We are asking, was she one of those people who was enrolled upon the pay slip? And we are asking whether she was a part-timer at the time.
Was she the one in charge of enrolling the people onto the mainstream?
Yes, allow me to
Mr. Patrick, you cannot do any such thing unless you have final approval from the principal. No officer can do such thing unless you have final approval from the principal. Did she declare any interest? Did she? That her daughter is about to be enrolled.
Is her daughter not qualified to be in the office?
Very, very qualified. I think she has a degree in accounting. I think administration with accounting option or something. She's very qualified.
So, is there any problem with her occupying the office?
Our question is, if you are in a position of influence, and your biological daughter is coming to work in that same institution, I think the law says you should make a declaration of interest, isn't it?
Okay.
We are asking whether she's done that.
So you're asking if she declared where the lady coming to the accounts office is her biological doctor, if the ministry or whoever enrolled them onto the mainstream are aware and still went ahead to
Thank you very much.
Enroll her.
Particularly when this getting her...
Did you ask her these questions before the press conference? Did you ask her these questions?
All these questions have been lingering long ago before now. In fact...
Lingering where?
We petitioned her. We sent letters to the ministries. We made a petition to the ministries. All on this issue. So it's not as if we just got up one day and then started talking about this.
Let me help you in answering this question. Okay. When the Ministry of Health came, we petitioned that we have a challenge with the daughter being there as an accountant. The Ministry of Health came with a lawyer. They came at the instance of our protest letter, outlining about 20 things we did not like. They came with the head of health training institution, because all the health training institutions in Ghana have their head.
Okay.
The minister appointed national intelligence officer seconded to the Ministry of Health, and they came with a lawyer. And MC was part.
Sun City Radio.
They invited MC
88.9
to the office of Mrs. Rejoice Ahito. For 6 good hours, they were questioning her. After that, they met us. So when they met us, we have a copy of the protest letter. It's almost similar to the press conference. All the questions they asked, about 6-hour interaction with the tutors. After, when they call Mrs. Rejoice Ahito in front of the tutors, do you have answers to what the teachers are saying? He said he has no answer. He said he has no answer. He couldn't respond to any of them. And in one was the daughter's issue. I specifically responded to that question and follow-up questions. That I don't understand why the daughter should be an accountant in the school of Mrs. Rejoice Ahito, working directly under her. What the response was that from the lawyer was that if he's not working directly under her, then it's not a conflict of interest. But if she's working directly under her It is a conflict of interest. And she's saying that the daughter is working under the accountant. But the truth of the matter is, in an instance where my senior colleague said that 2 accountants were transferred, after one of the accountants was transferred, that accountant was dear to our hearts. We believe he was one checking Miss Rejoice Ahito very well. He ensured that he left the school and the daughter sat in the same office.
She ensured that accountant?
Definitely. Because
how do you know I am
coming. I am an accountant in a school.
Okay.
You gave me query letter. Okay. Consistently. And 7. And on one of the query letter contain about 10 charges. And you see, when you query somebody, it has a process. Management, disciplinary committee, he doesn't do that. He call his friends, teachers. About 4 of them he's using as para management body to come and sit and then judge. Sidelining the disciplinary procedure, money and everything. And the guy got frustrated. He kept on doing that, that, and the guy left. Immediately the guy left, then the daughter was appointed to that same position. So if we say he intentionally did that, we are right.
The contents of the query, were they falsified or were they accusations without basis?
If they had basis, he would have involved the disciplinary committee and management, because there were no basis and was bullying him. That's why he was using pseudo management committee to just frustrate the person.
Right, time is fast spent. There is more to this. I think we'll have
something
to
small
go
to say. This thing will help Keta community very well. You allow me.
Wait, but then before you say what you want to say finally, you also stated she has no respect for chiefs, queen mothers, opinion leaders, MPs, MC, departmental heads, Keta, blah, blah, blah. What has she done to these people for you to say she is not respecting them?
Great. We thank you very much for this question. The student had challenges, and I learned they reported to the MC. At that time, I personally was not in the school. The MC decided to come to the school, and he said he would not allow an MC. According to MC met as tutors. We saw what happened. He had to. It wasn't easy.
Which MC?
Oh,
the current one. Okay.
He was just trying to tell lies that we tutors are going to report to MC. I noticed I went there. According to her, he was saying that he had an intelligence. He had an intelligence that all is not well in the school. He sounded very disrespectful to the MC. Very, very disrespectful. And this one, I'm putting it here. There are opinion leaders in the school, in the community. There are chiefs, there are queen mothers. Take time and find out from him whether this allegation is baseless or not. Well, we heard a lot from them too, that he has no respect for them. We can't just do that. Just true. So the evidence is that he has no respect for them. Find out from them whether he has respect for them or not.
All right, thank you. So I'll find out from them.
The final thing I wanted to say was that Miss Rejoice Ahito said is from here and cannot destroy the school. I have these simple questions for her, for all listeners. Why did he put a maid tutor at the residence of females, directly staying with them? 2, why did he decide to cancel the feeding? Because in Keta community,
why did she
say in Keta community it's difficult finding food to buy, especially
around
Keta.
The school.
Yes, around the school. He decided to cancel the feeding so that the student will suffer. Your own students. The protest.
Is that the reason you are deducing, or that is what she told you?
Ministry of Health spoke to that issue when they came, because we petitioned Ministry of Health on that. We've written series of letters. Everything we've said here, we have written to Ministry of Health, and the issue has been, discussed with her one-on-one. So we are not just alleging. It's an issue we have had a confrontation on.
All right.
So after ministry came, when we petitioned them, they asked her why she wanted to cancel the feeding. She gave her reasons. Ministry said no, they are against the cancellation of feeding in the school, and they gave 8 reasons for doing so. They said that one, food poisoning, when the student buy food from outside. 3, when the student do not have food to eat, sometimes they resort to sleeping with men, to find for a whole lot of things. So he shouldn't cancel the feeding. Once that was done, he decided still to go ahead and cancel the feeding. He organized management. Management said no, he didn't agree. He called PTA executives. He called teachers. He said no. He went to another. So there were 3 different voting and all went against her still. But finally, the teachers resisted, and now the feeding continued.
All right. Okay. I hear what she's saying, but for now, I want to stick with the contents of the press conference for now. These are further allegations that must be proven. We will extend an equal opportunity to the principal to come respond to some of these allegations. If she wants to, of course, she reserves the right to respond to them or not to respond to them. If she responds to them, fine. But then we spoke with her earlier, and she shared her view on some of the allegations you leveled against here. So, to be fair, before she considers coming to our studio to respond to some of these allegations, we spoke with her earlier in her office. Sorry, this is what
88.9
she told us.
Keta.
So let's listen to it, and then when we return, listeners, I'm sorry. Like I said yesterday, I'm not opening the phone lines. We are not commenting on this for now. For as long as for as long as questions are still begging for answers, I don't want anybody to come in and misfire. So let's listen to her. We will extend an equal opportunity. If she responds, fine. If she doesn't, we'll continue with our work. If necessary, we will contact a labor expert. We'll contact a lawyer to give us some explanation. So let's listen to what she said. I'll be back.
Be lenya onyata pa mama me hojujo. La jinwi keva yi kenya June 25th. La sakla do nwa jidudu pa sakla do nwa. Ala bana be hojujo na o do pa to nanya. Be hojujo. Tanana mako e mawo. Bana onya ba nye jujo ko yido. Mayina pa blood hope. Ta la bodu una. Pe yo siba mayina pa blood hoge. Fifia aba lenye afika male aba principal ado sukwa jikpola na ye matan chochoga kwa ikanye dola nye doto ome enam mongpopo ba makodo na mabubuo macho do kunyeshi akodo akona mareko tamo tojojombe ne amayoka ko doda sinam no nam mon popo ameko boman ko dona ko makogeni aju ta mema obo dagara school fees ji yema dagara school fees je myomi ma bill na ado na gaika school view aha manya mi apa doda shionyo ministry konive mi aka na ta mi ma dagara school fees adaka jina school view adako aika school mi je hostel nyagoma Mutuo plenyongo hostel yaka jidudu tuna sukua. Mutuo plenyongo pa hosteli. Alabaika mabamaje hostel agoma. Nyama plenyongo reka uchachitre. Baya no hostela. Tayo mutuo plenyongo pa hostelita. Majagbagba naba mutu deka lafuma. Alaba nyongo omo la hostel ga ko pona sukuvi nyongo ji. Manana oyina fuma ave akpona ogbo. Akpoba nuka hiyan nuka ijo nanama ta manye bere ma na ba mutu la nyonwo gbo akpoba ale kan nu ka ton yi me ama ya bonu hand over na ya ye amo pushim nanama makpo ma ala ba aba ma chichi na ata no domrengo ba yen to ma tan vangota ata no domrengo na nya ba mare ka magblunya mana o ado ala bo wanya ba sakla rola dora shadema ala bo nya tana mare kama odumrengo makpobe o ma tan we na ma to that extent
88.9 FM
la nyonya ta ma suku viwa ono ponwe ba record ya mi dadi ya o ma gabli ela bano la fima ye amado influence mado gbogbom no bono wole plekimi o mu pa gban gboga sronwa nya for the kama gblom no since ni benya for the kala gota hoko na nya be ministry so do mada kra na maju tano po pa gban gbono sron bo wanyo ube woko nya no wana akodajima ela ba yema kpobo maje agore kala mareke ju doko da shina mawo yema jagola mashi amaji ote do shina ela ba ma wo dore rodo fa yema gbogloga be ye tonya nye ko nye the best kake majagbagba nya maglobo majagbagba akpo ele be awo na le do pere ya ma shama le klalo be ya wo do plo nya ma le klalo e ma maglodo ngo ba amado lia e ma ko do teti ya ma na do o onu ya mi wonu ya o na ma family meeting awe a ma woge na ko anya ma va se nya ba ni tro anya ma ko do ko ma no do ma yo ha asama because of that ya ma de libo na ma ba ko la duji na ma ba ko ye nto ha form team la rokima yo do ma ye ban nya ma dun pa wa tro ko ma no do kom na we allo ye pe na ma ta ma nya ba ma lo ma re ko nya ma lo ma shama na ma ko nto pe ma maloma shama taga kana madoma we madoma iha ma we na ma biao na ba ye woga ya malaga ro chia diama tana marela klalo ba ya wodoko leke mielejia mi wo haya mi akpo na ma zomo kraye odana na nyembel ma ye ma kpo ba ngo pop up ko magblo ne bam no wi na ni ko ta wo chunwa fi magbo ma we ta ha majiko malema ye ma lo mareka wo mareko anyi ganya principal abo mu ro mareka da eno ro ma da ala ba nye kunya no ni ma hand over ni anglo leta ama all over na ma we na ma ko kama kloshima enye ko enye principal to pa ko joma la wonam leta ba ma ko na mai ma ko do dash na mai ka enya shanya to.
Right, so about the hostel issue, I think you got the answer. But when they established the hostel, it was for both male and female. And so there needed to be somebody there. Until now, Overtree was the only female hosteler. From the beginning, she was even looking for a female rep to be the house mistress over there. She didn't get any. By the time, it was for both male and female. Once upon a time, I understand some male students to used that place as their hostel. So maybe at the time the man was there and she remained there even after the male students left. I do not know how that actually happened. That's why I'm saying we'll extend an equal opportunity to her to come and explain some of these things so that we understand what is actually. These are allegations, and as human as we are, these allegations come up. But then if there are certain things that come up maybe along the way that were wrong on her part, then it to be left to the school, maybe the ministry, to query her. Maybe if it has to be a legal issue or whatever, then we go to that side. But for now, we will do our best to extend an equal opportunity to her. If she honors it, we will appreciate it so much. But if she doesn't, then the public, the teachers, the students will still be speculating what they think about your press conference. So we will extend that equal opportunity. I want to end this interview here. Time is fast spent. Thank you very much, Mr. Sechi Apreku, the convener, and then Mr. Foster Bedenya, and then Samuel Butias. Thank you so much for
I'm not
coming.
saying that the tutor at the hostel did anything bad to the students. I never mentioned that anywhere.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, when the male counterpart left the school, it's more than 2 years. So by saying that the male was there, the male tutor was there because males were there, it's unacceptable, because if the males left more than 2-3 years ago, and actually you wanted to do the right thing, you should have let him lift, go away from the place, and you bring a female. He has brought this question before. He is staying with female tutors in her bungalow. So he can't say he can't see the female tutors to be warden at the female ward. It is totally false. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and of course, thanks to the production team, Edward Kessie, Kakeli Blama, Mr. Jonah Plako, and thanks to the teachers for coming in. My name is Patrick Jiramado, and the show continues tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of our program. Afro Mix is up next.